Our second nominee is Dr. Bonnie Meszaros. In the realm, I'm not sure if that's for Bonnie or for Patty, almost down. In the realm of economics and personal finance education, Bonnie stands as a true example of inspiration and expertise, having dedicated an illustrious 50-year career to shaping the way educators impart these critical subjects to students of all ages. As an assistant professor of economics at the University of Delaware and the associate director for the University of Delaware's Center for Economic Education and Entrepreneurship, she meticulously coordinated and delivered professional learning programs for teachers. Perhaps the most compelling testament to her enduring legacy is the establishment of a prestigious award in her honor. In 2019, the University of Delaware Center for Economic Education and Entrepreneurship introduced the Meszaros Economic Educator of the Year Award, a fitting tribute to the educators in Delaware who have demonstrated a sustained dedication to economic education. More recently, in 2023, the National Association of Economic Educators introduced the Meszaros Curriculum Leadership Award, presented to educators who have excelled in developing K-12 economic curricular resources. Let's learn more about Bonnie's amazing accomplishments.
Bonnie Meszaros was the first field consultant in the entire economic education network, and she's got awards named after her. She's got papers published in the American Economic Review. She has written a variety of research, pedagogy. She's been in national committees for standards on economics and personal finance.
Her primary role is teaching teachers to teach economics. She doesn't preach. She shares what she knows. She pulls out of you every little bit of knowledge you have to use. And she's just so supportive.
She's been the one that really started the movement of going into classrooms, working with teachers, providing them with resources, making sure that she was a point of contact when they needed help, and then providing student competitions and other programming for students. And the amazing thing about her is that after 50 years of doing this, she still comes back to the office after a workshop with teachers or students, and the same thing always happens. She goes, "Oh, it was amazing. The teachers were engaged, love working with the students." And it just is a testament of how devoted she is and how much passion she has for economic education.
I think it's a really realistic way to learn to make wise decisions. You don't really learn it all the time reading or in science. A lot of times you're just taking in information. And I think that the decision-making is the critical part of economics.
And so I think people look at her as the person that knows everything that there is to know about how to teach economics, how to reach students, how to put programs together. And that's her legacy. And it's not only in the state of Delaware. For over 40 years, we've had a Master of Arts in Economics and Entrepreneurship here at the University of Delaware, and she's the only person who has gone through every single student, more than 500 graduates of that program from all over the United States and internationally that have participated in it. And they are still in contact with her, still asking for advice, and she graciously gives up her time to help them. So her impact is just unmeasurable.
We induct Dr. Bonnie Meszaros into the Delaware Women's Hall of Fame.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Oh, wow. Good evening, Governor Carney. I was going to say First Lady, but I guess I should say First Spouse and guests. This is such an unexpected honor. When Kay called me, I'm sure she thought it was a little strange that I didn't show more excitement or enthusiasm, but honestly, Kay, I was shocked that I was being recognized and included with such a group of outstanding women. Quite frankly, when I look at this year's group of honorees and past recipients, I feel like a bit of an imposter. Their credentials and accomplishments are impressive. So how did I get here? In a field of economic education. Leaving college, my career goal was not, and I repeat, not to work in the field of economics. No way. My passion was history. I had always wanted to be a history teacher, and I had a job in the Columbus Public Schools teaching history. But my husband, who worked for Congolium at the time, was transferred to a plant in Marcus Hook, and we landed in Delaware. The school year had already started, so I substituted, and I didn't enjoy that. I then took a job in the secretarial pool at DuPont, a secretarial pool, as a typist, which I enjoyed even less. Finally, the following fall, I began teaching U.S. history to middle school students in Wilmington, Delaware. I was set, or so I thought. Then I received a letter in the mail from the State Department of Education that said I was not qualified, I was not certified, because I had never taken an economics course. My thought was, you've got to be kidding. I went to UD that summer and took an econ class designed for teachers. The good news was, at that time, you could go to the University of Delaware as a teacher in the summer, tuition-free. The bad news was I didn't want to be there. My mindset was to take notes, pass the exams, and move on. Fortunately, I had a young professor, Jim O'Neill, who opened my eyes to the importance of teaching K-12 students economics. Jim taught me economics, but he was a strong believer that just because you know economics doesn't mean you can teach it. He provided those of us in the class with ideas on how to make economics relevant to our students. So I returned to the classroom excited about weaving economics into my American history class. And then in 1974, Jim offered me a position at the center, which started me on a career path that I never imagined for myself. In fact, I wasn't sure I wanted to leave the classroom, but in my husband's words, "Are you nuts? This is a wonderful opportunity for you." I was young, unsure of myself, but Jim and others around me saw potential in me and had confidence in me that I didn't have in myself. And it was through his mentorship and that of many others that I am here today. Over the course of my 50-year career, I have had incredible experiences and opportunities. As you heard, I became the first field consultant, a model that is now replicated across the country. I led a national effort to develop economic standards, working on a children's TV show, teaching internationally in Ukraine, Russia, and other countries in the early 90s when they were struggling to find their path forward after the breakup of the Soviet Union. But by far, my most rewarding experiences has been working with teachers here in Delaware. And as Carlos said, when I come back to the office and they ask me about the PD I just did, my response is always, I just worked with the most amazing group of teachers. My work with these teachers has given me great faith in Delaware schools, and I'm thankful for their willingness to work with me, invite me into their classroom, and for making me a better educator. None of us accomplish what we do without the support of many people. And I've had my share of mentors and supporters. When I went to my first Econ Ed conference in 1975, there were 5 women and a room full of white male economists. Today, that's changed, and I like to think I provided many of those women with the kind of guidance that I received all through my career. My advice to young women today is to be willing to take chances, grab onto new opportunities, because you never know where those opportunities will lead you. After all, who would have thought a history major would fall in love with economics? So I need to thank Congolium for bringing us to Delaware, to Delaware's Department of Education for forcing me to take an economics course, to Jim O'Neill, who couldn't be here tonight, who launched my career, to my amazing daughter, Morgan, who helped me to navigate the world of being a parent and having a career, and my husband of 55 years, Craig, for his support, encouragement, and unwavering belief in my capabilities. None of us do what we do because we expect accolades or honors. Having said that, I am deeply honored and grateful for this recognition. Thank you.